One of the things I've really enjoyed about the scheme is working for a local authority where I'm a resident. I'm an active member of my local park, and I've managed to get a place on the parks team. Seeing things from both perspectives has been really interesting, but also really empowering as well, to see things from both sides. So I'd say that was a highlight.
I like the variety. I like the fact that we move around into different areas, so I've got to experience a lot of things that in another job role I wouldn't have had the opportunity to. Studying the qualifications obviously going to set me up quite well in the future of working in the public sector. And I've just liked meeting everyone on the scheme, so there's been a variety of different people at Warwick, at Manchester, and we've just sort of made some good connections, so hopefully moving forward the public sector will benefit from that.
Hiya, welcome to Blakely Cemetery behind me here. I think the best thing about the NGDP programme has been the structure and the context it gives for reflecting on your own practice, my own practice. So I think it's really helped in terms of the type of work that I've been doing to have that background, to have that structure for reflecting on what's going well, what's not, and how to improve.
The LGA scheme has been great. It's, I think, helped me get exposure to senior managers within Manchester Council, which has meant that I've had some really exciting projects to work on. So it's meant I feel like I've been really involved in part of what the council is currently doing, particularly when it comes in relation to the budgeting and the costs.
The ILM level 7 has been really good. At the start I wouldn't say I didn't see the value in it, but I didn't actually know what it was. But after a period of time doing all the reflective journals, the reflective pieces, doing all the reading, and it helps you kind of put your project into perspective that you're working on. So yeah, it's really good in a reflective sense where you're continuously learning about stuff that you've done and stuff that you would do better, so you're continuously bettering yourself.
The most interesting project I've worked on was in the international visits. So I've supported the city policy team, kind of welcoming delegations from all over the world really to Manchester, giving presentations, giving guided tours. So that was really interesting because it really just allowed me to meet people from all over the world.
One of the projects I've worked on has been staffing both the local elections we had here in May 2016 and then the EU referendum, which the National Declaration was held here in Manchester. It was an uphill struggle, to say the least. It involved kind of selecting, allocating and training just over 2,000 staff to then go off and polling stations in the council and various ancillary roles throughout the day. However, it was a great responsibility, and then at the end of it, it was really nice to be able to stand in the National Declaration and say, you know what, I managed to staff this election, and we've got through it all, so it was a great hurdle to overcome.
So the type of projects that I've been working on, I've worked in two parts of the council in particular, which is parking and currently bereavement services. I think the most satisfying projects have been the ones where I've been able to see something through from beginning to end and actually implement something that's improved the way a service is delivered. So an example of that in parking would be a particular IT tool that we researched, tested and brought in, which has improved the quality of the way that officers deal with correspondence with customers.
I was given lead on a renewable energy project, so it was my task to basically weigh up the benefits and the risks of installing PV solar panels onto communal blocks within Brunswick, which is an area south of the city centre. It had never been done before, so it was quite interesting to weigh up everything. It involved working with the construction company to get costs, to get various sort of implementation sort of strategies and things like that. So it was a very start to finish project which I got to present, and I got to basically almost got implemented, but it's still sort of in the pipework right now as it is with council sort of strategies. But it was presented, it went really well, and yeah, it gave me, I now know about solar PV, even before I didn't even know what PV stood for. So
The project I worked on early on was a business case for the development of the MASH, which is the multi-agency safeguarding hub, and expanding its capacity to help adult victims of domestic violence. That was such a worthwhile project and involved working with lots of stakeholders. It was really interesting to see how different departments functioned, but also how the police function, and yeah, making a valuable contribution to the place where I live.
I've been involved in writing the Child Sexual Exploitation Strategy for Manchester. I've also had the pleasure of taking some young people down to Parliament to meet with ministers so that they could have their say on a new bill that's going through Parliament for care leavers and affecting social work. So I've had some really exciting and great learning opportunities in children's services.
Working with the equalities team, I worked a lot with the LGBT staff group on Manchester Pride. It was a great event for the city. It was a citywide event. What we did was we had an entry in Manchester Pride's parade. So it was more or less about trying to get people involved, get them engaged, who wanted to be in the parade, who wanted to take part, who wanted to deal with the planning of it. So it was an all-round city aspect, plus you were working with loads of partners like Manchester Pride themselves, GMP, NHS colleagues, all to try and make the day as inclusive as possible.
Definitely recommend working in the public sector. I think it's really nice to be able to do something and see the impact you're having, making local communities hopefully a better place, or at least intervening to make sure that they're not becoming worse.
We are under a lot of pressure, but it's a very satisfying place to work, and I think that I have come across so many people who are passionate about helping others, and it's just a very edifying place to work.
I would definitely recommend a job in the public sector. I have to be honest, it's incredibly challenging, but it certainly has rewards. The thing that I really like is the fact that it's stakeholders who benefit from what the council does rather than shareholders. And I love the fact that those stakeholders are members of my family, my friends and my local community. So if you want a job that really does make a difference, then I would certainly recommend working in the public sector.